Hey fish friends, Zenzo with Tazawa Tanks, back with another video. So how's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in and watching another video of mine. Before I get into the topic of the day, I do want to share with you something that's important for you guys to mark on your calendars. So this coming Tuesday, January 23rd, you're going to want to tune in to The Real Fish Talk. So if you're not familiar with The Real Fish Talk, it is the secondary channel of Aquarium Co-op, where we have Corey McElroy from Aquarium Co-op, and then Joel, aka Corvus Oskin, who also is on the show. So they have another channel, and they have a really cool format where they basically do like a live stream a couple of times a week. There's a podcast that follows it, and they've been really working on this new studio slash fish room slash YouTube collaboration center, I guess you could say. So you will want to tune in this week. It's really going to be cool, I promise you. So January 23rd, 3 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. And if you're across the pond or somewhere else, I don't know what time zone you're in, so it might be 11 o'clock at night or something like that. But again, January 23rd, don't miss it, Real Fish Talk. I will put a link of that channel down below so that you can make sure that you tune in. So hit that notification bell once you go to their page and subscribe, etc. So anyway, as the title suggests, there's something that's happening in that tank that shouldn't have happened. So I actually caught it a couple of weeks ago or a week and a half ago. I forgot. It's been a while. And I tried to remedy the situation. Wasn't going to happen, so in fact I tried again today, and I'm just going to kind of let things run its course. So what happened is, as I was servicing this tank a couple of weeks ago, I noticed that there was a really small African cichlid fry in the tank. And I thought, how the heck did an African cichlid fry get in this tank, and what's going on? So after kind of figuring out what had happened, I realized that I was moving fish all around. So if you recall, I have, there's 26 tanks or so down here in this room, and I've got African cichlid fry, which are African cichlid babies, in lots of tanks. I've been breeding them, and I've got them growing out in various stages, from really small fry that were born just a few weeks ago, or spit just a few weeks ago, to some that are several months old, like these ones right behind me here. Anyway, I was moving some fish around and catching them in nets and dispersing them to different tanks all along the fish room here. And I'm always very careful to check the nets to make sure that there's nothing left over in the net if I'm moving it to something else. Well, apparently I wasn't careful enough, because I used that net in this tank, and I might have been like scooping out some food or something. I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but somehow one of those little African cichlid babies ended up in this tank. Now, it must have been really tiny, because I didn't see it on the net when I was doing the water changes and moving the fish around. And when I was moving them around, they were really small. They must have been, I want to say, about a month or so old as far as how big they were when they were spit out. So it was very tiny, probably just a few millimeters long. And somehow it survived. So a couple of weeks ago, I was doing some cleaning in here, and I looked in the plant, and I saw this little tiny fish, and I said, what the heck is that? I couldn't tell if it was an mbuna, a peacock. I didn't know what it was. I pretty much quickly found out that it was an African cichlid fry, figured out how it happened, and thought, well, how am I going to catch this fish? It's a 75-gallon tank, one tiny fry, in a big tank with rocks and stuff to hide in. It's not going to be easy. I didn't want to drain the whole tank. I didn't want to pull all the stuff out, so I said, well, I'm just going to see what happens. So I've been making sure to feed the little guy in there. So I'm dropping little small tiny cichlid pellets in there that kind of falling in the plant. It's been eating those, and it's growing. So today when I was working in the fish room, I noticed that it's quite large actually. It's actually grown pretty quickly in the last couple of weeks. It's no longer hiding in a plant. The fish is swimming all around this giant tank. one small African cichlid fry is swimming along next to Oscar. I've got African synodontis catfish in there that are, you know, good 6 or 7 inches long, and he's just kind of cruising around and hanging out with those guys. So Oscar's kind of lazy. You can actually see him doing his little lazy thing. So he does this after I feed him. I just fed him a little bit ago. So anyway, Oscar's super lazy. You can just see that he just jumped up and grabbed a piece of food because I put some in there just to get him to move around for the video. But I just fed him recently, and after I feed him, he just kind of lays there and chills out, and just kind of hangs around and doesn't do a whole lot until he gets hungrier again. Then he starts swimming back and forth, and he'll start to jump when I open up the top. But for the most part, he's pretty chill. He just kind of hangs around, doesn't chase that little cichlid at all. The cichlid has been able to survive in there. So I tried to catch him again today without any success, and I'm just going to let him grow up in there and see, you know, if he just survives. And I think he's at the point now where he's just too fast and too large to catch. So I'm going to let him grow out there for a few more weeks until he's large enough where it'll be easier for me to catch. At this size, it's really hard to catch a fish, especially in a large tank. So when it gets bigger, I'm going to catch him, obviously, and move him to one of the other cichlid tanks. So I just thought it was interesting that you have this little tiny fry that ended up in his tank. He survived, avoided all the predators, and he's big and fast enough to where he's boldly swimming. He swam right in front of Oscar today, and Oscar didn't move, and the fish just kind of darted right past him. So, you know, I guess if I really, really wanted to rescue the fish and I was really super concerned, I would go in and tear the tank apart and try to catch him. But I've got 200 plus of these little guys, and I'm just gonna, you know, let it run its course, and hopefully he works it out. So that was it, just a quick little video to share a funny story about what's going on in the Oscar tank and the African cichlid in there, and also to mention that you should and definitely will want to tune in to The Real Fish Talk on Tuesday, January 23rd, 3 p.m. Pacific, again 4 p.m. Mountain, 5 Central, 6 Eastern, and you're going to want to watch the show. So that's all I had for now. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.